The 11th Hour, Episode 8, The Fortress of Calvados. What if the Atlantic Wall had a heart? In the early morning light of June 6, 1944, the largest invasion fleet in human history appeared off the coast of Normandy. Operation Overlord was a masterpiece of planning, but it relied on one critical assumption, that the German Atlantic Wall was a thin, brittle shell. Historically, that assumption was correct. Adolf Hitler had insisted on defending 3,000 miles of coastline, from the fjords of Norway to the sun-baked beaches of the Spanish border. This forced the German labor organization, the Organization Tag, to spread 15,000 reinforced concrete structures across a continent. The wall was wide, but it was shallow. But what if Hitler had listened to his generals after the daring British raid on Saint-Nazaire in 1942? What if he had recognized that the only coast that truly mattered was the one closest to England? Imagine a timeline where the Führer orders a total withdrawal from the peripheries. No concrete is wasted in Norway, no bunkers are built in the Netherlands. Instead, every bag of cement, every ton of steel, and every slave laborer is concentrated on a 60-mile stretch of coast between Cherbourg to Caen. This was the CC line. The tactical reality of such a fortress is staggering. Historically, on the 6-mile bloodbath of Omaha Beach, the Americans faced just 8 concrete artillery bunkers and 35 pillboxes. These were enough to nearly break the 1st Infantry Division. Now, apply the concentration of the CC line. If the resources of 15,000 bunkers were focused on this sector, the density of fire would have increased by 10 to 15 times. Omaha Beach would not have faced 8 heavy guns. It would have been targeted by over 100, firing from reinforced casemates that were virtually immune to naval bombardment. The CC line would not just be a beach defense, it would be a defense in depth. Historically, the Allied paratroopers of the 82nd and 101st Airborne dropped behind the lines to seize key bridges and roads. In this reality, they would have landed in a maze of secondary and tertiary defensive lines. Every hedgerow would have been anchored by a concrete pillbox. Every village would have been a fortress. The Atlantic Wall would have been 5 miles deep, not 500 yards. Had the Allies attempted to land in the face of this concentration, the casualties would not have been measured in thousands, but in tens of thousands within the first hour. The landing craft would have been annihilated before reaching the shore. Even if small groups of infantry made it to the seawall, they would have found themselves pinned down by an interlocking web of machine gun fire that left no blind spots. If Allied intelligence had seen the CC line and chosen to land elsewhere, perhaps in the Pas-de-Calais or Brittany, they would have faced a different but equally lethal problem. Landing away from the Cotentin Peninsula meant their fighter cover from England would be at its absolute limit. Their vital floating mulberry harbors would have been exposed to the full, unprotected force of Atlantic gales, likely shattering them within days. The supply lines for 1 million men would have been stretched thin, leaving the invasion force vulnerable to the mass German panzer divisions that now had the fuel and ammunition to strike with full force. Ultimately, a failed D-Day would have fundamentally altered the 20th century. With the Western Allies repulsed and unable to mount another invasion for years, the geopolitical vacuum would be filled by the only power left standing, the Soviet Union. As the Red Army steamrolled toward Berlin, there would be no American or British forces to meet them at the Elbe. The Iron Curtain might not have fallen across Germany, but across the English Channel itself. The 11th hour was ticking, and by trying to defend everything, Hitler defended nothing. Had he built the CC line, the wall might never have broken. The 11th hour had passed,